Well, hello. Today's segment is all about healthy business, and I have Erica on from Erika K Beauty, and she's going to tell us all about herself, her business, and just something that you guys can take away with you to apply to your businesses today. So, Erica, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so my name is Erica. I am a small business owner. I'm also a licensed cosmetologist, and I'm a mom to a 4-year-old little boy. And that's pretty much me in a nutshell.
Well, tell me a little bit about your business. You say you're a licensed cosmetologist, so do you do hair, makeup, what kinds of things do you do?
So I provide hair and makeup services. I specialize more in like special occasion, so upstyling hair and bridal. And I also do provide small services in studio. So I provide waxing, brow waxing, tinting, lash lifting, and lash tinting services.
So what is a lash lifting? Like,
So a lash lift is basically a lash lift is kind of like a perm for your lashes. So you know how we
oh,
have lash curlers to kind of give our
uh-huh.
lashes a lift. It's that, but it lasts 6 to 9 weeks.
Okay, okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Is being a cosmetologist something you always wanted to do, or did you just kind of fall into it?
It's something that I've always wanted to do, but I feel like I fell into it a little bit later. I'm not sure if it was just something like so in my family, I kind of felt like they viewed hairdressers as people that were really educated. And so I felt like I had to go to college and get a degree.
Mhm.
And so I did that and I got an associate's and I just didn't really know what I was supposed to be doing. And after I got my associate's degree, I was like, you know what, I'm going to hair school because this is really what I love, hair and makeup. So I kind of went off a little bit route for a couple years, and then I made my way back to cosmetology.
Awesome, awesome. Is there like what about cosmetology do you enjoy the most?
I think for me, something that I really enjoy is that it's a creative outlet for me, and I think that a lot of cosmetologists can say that it allows me to be creative, and I don't feel like it's limited. You know, if you want to be a hair colorist because that's your thing, you can be a hair colorist and be creative in that way. For me, that is upstyling and makeup. You know, for others, it may be hair cutting. So I feel like in our industry, you can do a lot of different things and be very creative.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I've worked in the wedding industry in the past, and so I know hair and makeup and things really big in the wedding industry, especially. And people kind of talk about the bad sides of their business. Can you tell us about some of the challenges you've had in with what you do, maybe with working with customers or running a business, or just something in that
Um,
realm?
I think, well, I think that anyone could say that dealing with certain types of personalities can be
Mhm.
challenging. Um, for me, I had a really hard time working in the salon. That
Okay.
was really challenging for me because I was a freelance. I'm a freelance artist, but I also at some point did work in the salon, and I struggled a lot. It's just a different atmosphere, and it's almost a little bit like catty and too competitive. And, just stylists like feeling if a client couldn't get in to see them and they booked with someone else in the salon, they felt like you stole their clients. And that is not my nature to begin with anyway.
Mhm.
And so I struggled a lot in the salon for those reasons. Not really like my customer or my clients, but in that aspect, I would say that's something in the industry that I did not like. And I think that that's why freelancing and bridal and special occasion styling was more my thing.
Awesome, awesome. So what you say, kind of catty, and other than just, feeling like you're gonna steal each other's clients, whether was it just kind of gossipy? Like I don't
A little
well,
it can be gossipy, and I think it all depends too on, like, your salon manager and the kind of atmosphere that they set up.
mhm,
I will say I did have an amazing salon manager,
that's good.
but our store manager was a little challenging, and so that all kind of plays into like the atmosphere.
Mhm,
It can be gossipy and also, um, something that I have noticed from just being in the industry is that some people are very open to sharing knowledge
mhm.
and some are not.
Yep.
And I like the people that are open to sharing knowledge because I feel like it grows our industry.
Mhm.
But some people feel like they have to keep, things like a secret, and so that can be challenging too when work with.
Yeah. Yeah, and and you can find that in any industry. There's so many, especially amongst creatives, I think, especially because we all have a different style, we all have a different way of going about things, and we want to be respected in our roles, and we kind of feel maybe threatened if someone else is also respected. We don't
Right,
realize like there's room for all of us and all of our skills because one person can't serve every person out there, right? I
right,
mean, there are those of us that are going to enjoy certain aspects, like you love the updos and that part, and there are going to be people that are like, I hate that. I just want to do a haircut,
exactly. Yeah,
and so there's kind of room for everyone's vision, everyone's creativity, and everyone's thing, especially like in the business world. I mean, we've got like billions of people on this planet, and as one person, you can only help and serve so many of them and be effective. So
right.
I think that's really good, that you mentioned that. So you mentioned the salon environment was really challenging. Is that what made you kind of branch off and kind of go do your own business? Kind of how did that transition work for you?
That was actually a major deciding factor for me. I was like, this is not for me. Um, and I'm also the type of person that, um, I just feel like, with what I do now, I may or may not see a bride ever again. Uh, it feels kind of like repetitive. I don't Kind of a little bit boring. It just the salon setting wasn't for me. It just felt like, the same thing, basic color all the time, a haircut. And I'm just a really creative person. And for me, I felt like it wasn't the right fit. A few more minutes, okay? Okay, good job. Okay, I'll start over again.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You know what? That's actually perfect because, most people out here that are gonna be watching this are gonna be moms, and so those things are gonna happen when you're having a phone interview or a meeting or those kinds of things. And I think there's a room for us to give ourselves and each other grace in the midst of
Thank you.
that.
So, where was I? Uh,
Switching from salon
Switching
to
from salon to, yeah, so that was a major deciding
Mhm,
factor. And so actually, would say about 5 years ago, I started what was called at ease hair and makeup. And so I was doing that for a couple years, which was my business. And I was freelancing and doing bridal work and some editorial also. And then I got pregnant and I took a break to be a stay at home mom. And in the last, I want to say like year,
mhm,
I decided to come back into the industry. And this time I kind of, like a facelift. I changed the name. And
mhm.
so I went from Addie's Hair and Makeup to Erika K Beauty. And yeah,
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what is it that, you really love about your business that makes you excited to get to work, to do what you do?
Something that I really love is I do love brides.
Mhm,
I really love being part of their special day.
mhm,
It's really exciting to be part of, something that they're going to remember forever.
uh-huh,
And it's really nice to just see kind of everyone gushing about them and just the excitement. It is such a adrenaline rush that day. You're just so excited for
mhm,
them. But another thing that I really love about what I do is that every person that sits in my chair, they all have a story.
yeah,
They have a story to tell. And for those clients that come in every couple of weeks to get their,
mhm,
lashes or their brows done, I see them more often. And throughout the time, you get to know them and you just really realize that people have been through all walks of life. They all have a story to tell. And some of my very, very like good best friends were started off as clients.
that's
So
awesome.
I've even built like lasting relationship with some of my clients, which is something that I love and to me is priceless.
That's incredible, that's incredible. I mean, it gives you an opportunity to definitely meet people you might not have met otherwise.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
um, you parent, you're a business owner, how do you manage some of the challenges that come with doing both, so that you stay on task, but then you also, um, manage your time and allow for just parenting to happen?
Um, So I haven't quite figured that out yet, like a rhythm. I'm still kind of figuring that out
Mhm.
because I'm also a single parent.
Yep,
And so I already
a
have
lot
to
of
fill
challenge.
a lot of roles and a lot of things have to get done. So I'm still trying to figure out the whole time management thing. I will say it has been a little bit challenging this time around versus before I had AJ and I was, building Addie's hair and makeup. It was easier. I didn't have, the extra responsibility and
Mhm,
I picked up a momentum really quicker. And this time around, I haven't been able to, um, maybe work on the social media algorithms as much as before.
mhm,
So it has been a little bit challenging for me, and I think that I'm still trying to figure it out.
mhm.
But you know, time management is really one of the things that I'm working at is just allocating like what is going to need the attention today and how am I going to spread that out evenly so that, all the things get done. My son has, my attention and my business has attention
Do you ever feel guilty when you give business attention instead of your son?
all the time. All the time, like 99% of the time.
Do you think
Um,
that's maybe one of the things that keeps you from actually just setting aside that time and not feeling bad about it?
I think so. I think that for me, like, one of the things that I feel really
Mhm,
guilty, I feel like I have to give so much attention because there's only one parent in the
mhm,
house. And
hard.
so maybe I try to over, do it. That anytime I give anything else a little bit of
Mhm,
attention, I feel guilty. So I'm still trying to also like figure that out. What does that look like? And
mhm.
give myself grace, like it's okay. It's okay if maybe he has to watch like 2 episodes of, whatever it is so that I can get something done.
Definitely is okay. It is okay. I mean, I'm not in a single parent household, but, I was raised by a single mom, and so when she was home, it was all eyes on us, and so I think she could probably have related to that, and I've seen it in action, but, kids learn so much when their parents are building a business and running a business and doing those kinds of things, and they get to see what that persistence and perseverance looks like as well, and so, I think um, I like to say, do the things that matter the most and kind of let the other stuff just get done later. And
Right.
so, obviously, time with our family, time to build our business because it's our livelihood are kind of important. But Does the house need to look like Better Homes and Gardens or something like that? Probably not. It doesn't need to look like
Exactly.
a Joanna Gaines magazine article
Right.
spread 24/7. Um, but I think we can. Maybe it's not balance. Maybe it's just each day kind of knowing where to put our attention and put our focus, and maybe different days it'll change. It'll be okay.
Right.
This day he needs a little more of my attention, but oh, this day my business is going to need a little more attention, and just trying to find where that ebb and flow happens.
Right.
So, what do you really like when you kind of think about your business and, you've done business before, you kind of come back into it. How do you, how do you think that, what do you think it takes to run a healthy business? And even, if you want to give your own definition of healthy business, but what do you think it really takes to run a healthy business?
I think maybe for me, there's two things that I kind of, um, I don't know if it's the right answer, but for me, I think that one of the things is integrity. So
Mhm.
always operating in integrity is something that's super important for me. And also quality over quantity. Sometimes I don't know if it's like this in any other industry, but in mine, it's all about like the following and the likes and the
Mhm.
kind of like trying to keep up with the Joneses type of
Mhm.
thing, and putting out content and stuff like that. So trying not to get caught up so much in that,
Mhm.
but making sure that I'm pushing out quality work, and that I'm also always staying educated, because
Mhm.
in our industry, trends and styles are always changing and
Mhm.
evolving. So making sure that I'm always educated so that I can put out quality work, and I know that what I'm doing. But for me, is integrity and quality work, and everything I think falls into place.
Yeah, it definitely flows out of that. I love how you say integrity because, as a business owner, if we can't be a person of our word, people aren't going to follow us or come to us for very long.
Right.
I had a recent experience with a small business and my car, and um, the things didn't get fixed right the first time, but I brought it back and they made it right. And they were not just like, "Oh, fine, we'll make it right," but they were like, We are so sorry. What can we do to make this right?" And they were willing to do what they needed to do to make sure that it wasn't just done right, but that I was taken care of financially as well, and that they did the right thing by me with that. And so I really respect and appreciate their integrity in that situation because I think too many times businesses value the money, which obviously we need to make money to stay in business because that's what we're doing, right? We're
Right.
providing a service or a product for money. But a lot of times they forget about that human customer integrity aspect that if I don't operate with integrity, I'm not going to have a business for very long.
Right.
Because once people find out, less people are going to be coming to us. And so I think that's really great that that's one of the things that you mentioned because it's really valuable.
It is. And just even for myself, like as a consumer, like you said, I appreciate that too. So
Mhm.
I have to constantly remind myself, if I were a client, would
Yeah.
I like this? So like you said, for me, that's number one thing. And I feel like people respect that so much.
Definitely. So, we've talked about what you've done in the past with your business. Looking kind of ahead, what are some of the things that you're hoping to do in the future with your business? We're kind of in the middle of some different times right now. I know in our state, for instance, we're still not able to open up salons and those kinds of things, but we know it's coming back soon. So, how do you kind of what do you see and envision for the future of your business with some of the changes that have happened with all this?
I think growth, just
Mhm.
continue to grow, because I feel like right now I'm still a little baby business. Every time I feel like I was just starting to pick up momentum,
Mhm.
and now it's slowed down a lot. But it's given me the opportunity to kind of work on, some things that were maybe not, I didn't have time to take care of.
Mhm.
So like for example, I've been working on my website a lot, and I had a bunch of work set aside that I did.
Mhm.
images and stuff like that. So I've been kind of um, put putting in new work, updated work, and I've had
Mhm.
to, time to work on that. But I think that for the future, I just want to continue to grow. And I've also been taking this time to take some classes,
Great.
to educate myself,
Mhm.
some refreshing courses. I took a skin tone and undertone class the other day, and it was so fun and refreshing for me. And I also learned some new things. So
Mhm.
just educating myself. Another thing that I've been working on is taking a course um, called Behind the Mask,
Mhm.
and they kind of train you to be able to identify if someone sitting in your chair may be a victim of sex
Oh,
trafficking,
wow.
stuff
That's
like that. And so being able to identify those people and also what to do in the event if they are. And I think that that's, for me, it's very important
Mhm.
because, like I said, they sit in your chair and it's almost like a safe place too,
Mhm.
creating a safe place for that person and
Mhm.
just being able to identify that, which I think is amazing and a good training to have. I can recall two instances when I worked in the salon that I suspected of something like that,
Mhm.
but I didn't have the training on what to do and how to
Yeah.
navigate that. So I've been taking the time to do things like that, but like I said, just continue to grow and educate myself as a business person, but also as a cosmetologist.
That's really good. That's really good. So if you were to share kind of one valuable lesson that you've learned running business, maybe getting back into business or those kinds of things, with anybody who's watching right now, what would you want to tell them about business?
Um, I would say to just keep going. You're
Mhm.
gonna hit kind of like bumps in the road. Yes, buddy. I love you too. I think we're almost done. Okay. I think for me is just keep going, kind of like the Dory thing, just keep
Yeah.
swimming, just keep going. You're going to hit bumps in the road. So like for example, for me, I was kind of picking up good momentum and now everything's kind of like put on hold.
Hmm.
And so don't let, those bumps in the road discourage you. And just keep going, reach out to your networks, stay resourceful, utilize your resources and stuff like that. And I think that, you'll be good.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you for joining me and talking with me today. I'm really excited to see where your business goes. Just so you all know, Erica is a friend of mine. She's also a business owner, and I love the work that she does. We actually collaborated on a photography project with some makeup, and it was really great to see her work in action. And so I'm actually really excited just to see where her business goes coming up soon in the future here. And
Thank you.
I just kind of wish you all the best with what you're doing.
And thank you for having me. This was really fun.
You're welcome.